Why don't we start with Aaron Rodgers, because that is the big thing in the NFL right now, right? Everybody waiting on Aaron. So it's been about a week since Aaron emerged from the darkness. However, I'm sure to the Packer front office, Packer fan, Jet front office, Jet fan, and whoever else is trying to base their offseason, Derek Carr, whoever else is waiting on Aaron or waiting on that first domino, I'm sure that last week has felt like an absolute eternity. Because, of course, he has emerged from the darkness, but we're still not exactly sure what he wants to do or what he's going to do. That circle of trust that he has is probably very, very small. I have no idea. However, we did get our first public comments from Aaron since he came out of that 300 square foot, partially underground, completely dark room with that queen bed and a meditation mat and those 2 squares a day. And while we might not have a decision, we did get an in-depth review of the darkness experience. Part of me would tell you that does not sound like a dude who is ready to hang him up. That does not sound like Aaron emerged from the darkness wanting to move on from football. If anything, it almost sounds like he's all about it still. But he did say there were times when I was in there where I thought about what would life be like if I no longer played. And then there were parts of that time that I spent in the darkness where I thought about, yeah, it's beautiful to play football. And then when he talks about being the COVID MVP, you can tell that the 2-time COVID MVP, that chip is still on his shoulder. If anybody was still wondering about that, I think that he still has that chip on his shoulder. So, listen, I understand that everybody's been waiting and everybody was hoping that he would emerge from the darkness and then give everybody his answer and make that decision. I get that. Now, I also get the Packers have an organization and a business and a team to run. I get that. Just as Aaron has to do what's best for Aaron, the Packers have to do what's best for the Packers. Namely, they need to determine if they want to go all in and run it back one last time with Aaron or move on from Aaron because maybe they're sick of the whole thing and they want to see what they have in Jordan Love. And then on top of that, they're not the only ones waiting on Aaron. There's at least one other team that truly believes it's a quarterback away from being a legitimate contender. Looking at you, New York Jets. And while they're talking to Derek Carr, depending on the trade compensation, they would rather have Aaron Rodgers than Carr. So the Jets also are stuck in a holding pattern. So, who's right? Who's wrong? Who is jamming whom? Who is handling it the right way? Who is handling it the wrong way? And is Aaron going the old gunslinger on everybody's ass and holding them hostage the way Brett Favre used to back in the day before Favre started to sling unwanted dong pics via text and misappropriating and misdirecting funds from people who really needed them to folks who really did not? Allegedly. Don't sue me. As for Aaron, he's aware of all this. Don't tase me, bro. Don't sue me, bro.
Don't tase me, bro.
Aaron knows. Aaron knows what's going on. And here's where I come out. To me, because of who he is, because of what he's accomplished, because he does still have something left in the tank, and because of how big of a decision this is, the guy does deserve some time. He's doing everything he can to make the right call and determine whether or not he's all in or not. And then if he is still all in, where he wants to play, in Green Bay or someplace else. My point is, I've got no problem with this. I have no issue with this. I have no issue with this as long as he does not drag it out, as long as he does not turn into the old gunslinger. Now, I know some of you are like, but that's what's happening. He is dragging it out. He's not. Not yet. Not yet. And I say that because Rodgers knows what it's like. He's been on the other side. He lived that life with the gunslinger when the gunslinger did drag it out. He knows how hard that is on everybody. And as he told Aubrey Marcus on that pod, that is the last thing he wants to do. It's March 1st. He didn't retire and then show up in August and say, here I am, I want to play. You hear that, text slinger? He does not want to be like you. Nobody wants to be like you. But least of all, Aaron. And to the rest of you who are comparing him to the text slinger, I hope you heard that answer. Because he's right about that. The Favre saga did drag out all summer, for multiple summers. When he finally did leave Green Bay, he retired in March, then unretired, then was dealt in August. We're not even close to that bull crap. It's March 1st. Free agency hasn't even officially started yet. But if you're still sick of this dude and you think he's being dramatic and getting in everybody's way and making it all about himself and trying to get the entire world just to look at him because he's this crazy narcissist and he's enjoying all the attention, well, he also had a message for all of you who think that as well. If him trying to figure out his life is bothering all of you so much and you can't stop stressing out and obsessing over, quote, his life, maybe you're the one who needs to turn the lights off for a little while. Maybe you need a reset. Maybe that's a you problem and not an Aaron Rodgers problem. And by the way,
turn off your station.
In other words, turn off your lights. Everybody could benefit from a little inner contemplation and reflection anyway. I tried it. I tried it in this very room last week. It helped a lot. I got clarity. Some clarity. So the bottom line is he says, you will have your answer because I will have my answer soon enough. If the question then is, well, when is soon enough? What is soon enough? Here's what I would put it at. 13 days. Within 13 days. Because 13 days from now is when free agency officially does open. If at that point he still has not made up his mind, he drags it past that date, and then we get a bunch of word salad and hemming and hawing, then the conversation is a different conversation. But as it stands right now, I've got no problems with this. I've got no problem with the way he's handling it. I've got no problem with the way the Packers have handled this. Everybody needs to do what's best for themselves, and that's exactly what everybody's doing right now. But if we're still having the conversation 14 days from now and free agency is already opened, then it's a different conversation. But I know this. The one thing you don't want to do is tell this guy, I have to have an answer right now. If you try to pressure this guy or leverage this guy or squeeze this guy, you know it's not going to go well. You know he's not going to respond to that. No matter who you are. Packer Nation, Jets Nation, Raider Nation. Personally, here's what I would like to see. I would like to see him go all in with that big fat chip on his shoulder and run it back with the pack. Because a motivated Aaron Rodgers with a chip on his shoulder still gives Green Bay their best chance to win. And Green Bay is still Aaron's best chance to lift another Lombardi. Now, if Green Bay's already decided we're sick of it, we're over it, we want to move on, we need to find out what we have with Jordan Love. That's fine, too. I wouldn't kill them for that. Again, everybody has to do what's best for them. If that's the decision they make, great. Then maybe we find out whether or not the Jets really are a quarterback away. Then we find out whether or not a 30-year-old or 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers can gel with Robert Saleh's instant coffee world. In the meantime, let's just wait a little longer. It's not going to kill anybody. It's not wrecking free agency. It's not wrecking franchises. I don't think he's being a narcissistic, look at me diva because he enjoys all the attention. I think he's a different dude. And he is searching and he is looking. And now the lights are on and we'll see. Just don't tell me that he's going all Favre with it until he starts slinging unwanted dong shots and dragging it out into the summer. And then you can tell me he's all text slinger about it. But if he makes a decision in the coming days, that's fine. Where do you come out? That's just part of the podcast. I'm not exactly sure where he's coming from completely. I don't know what happened in the dark retreat. or the dark room, but it sounds like he got something out of it. It sounds like he came out of it differently than he went into it. It sounds like he got some clarity.